speak? Would you pour down like rain, washing my eyes to see your majesty, to be still and know that you're in this place? Please let me stay and rest in your holiness. Word of God, speak.
Welcome to Wednesday night's Bible study. My name is Philip Brand, and this is Grayson Snyder.
Mm-hmm.
He has not studied for this at all.
Nope.
He's given a knee-jerk reaction to what I'm talking about, so that's what he's here for.
That's my plan.
You excited?
I'm excited.
You missed 2 weeks.
I know.
This is part 18.
Part 18.
We're in chapter 13.
Chapter 13.
The latter part is chapter 13. So we'll see if you're right. We're not quite halfway there to your number. Not quite.
Nope.
No. Of course, that'd be a long time, wouldn't it? Because yours is 60. 60?
Mm-hmm.
And Seth's is 76. This is actually part 18-19.
Part 18-19.
Yeah, part 18-19.
18/19.
Mm-hmm. Because, you know, we didn't know if we were counting the review.
Or not.
Or not.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, just keeping people in the pod up to date on where we are.
We still got a little ways until we get halfway to Exodus, too.
We do.
So, I feel good.
Yeah. It
I
could
feel
happen.
good.
Could happen. All right. Chapter 13 of Exodus. We'll start reading with verse 17. This is where we left off last week because I thought I was going to get through the whole chapter. And I didn't.
Did not.
And then Seth said, well, that works out well for me.
That's, yeah. He's right.
He's right. He's absolutely right. So here we are, chapter 13, verse 17. It says this. When Pharaoh let the people go, God did not lead them by the way of the land of the Philistines, although that was near. For God said, lest the people change their minds when they see war and return to Egypt. A couple of points with this particular verse is, first of all, God leads his people.
Mm-hmm.
Second, when God leads his people, he takes into consideration who they are.
Mm-hmm.
And where does he need to lead them that would be optimal for them to stick with him in following him.
Right. Yep.
So he did not take them the way of the Philistines because he knew, God knows, that if they had resistance from the Philistines and the Philistines came out and started a battle with them, the people would want to go back to Egypt under the protection of Egypt.
Yep.
Because they were not expecting that at this point. Yep. And you can kind of see that because they just packed up their homes.
Yeah.
They're moving along. They're camping. They're moving. They're camping. They're moving. They're eating unleavened bread. They're excited. The last thing that they need right now is a war.
Right.
I think that this is very intriguing because in just a few days from this point, Pharaoh is going to come after them.
Mm-hmm.
Not to give it away for you people that may not know, but Pharaoh's going to come after them.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert for chapter 14. Yeah. So, God, who is their leader and king and sovereign, is the one that is leading them here.
Mm-hmm.
And so divine wisdom, we can take from this, works out through human history.
Yeah.
Now, the people didn't know where they were going.
No.
They had been slaves. I'm pretty sure that in slave school, they didn't teach them geography.
Right.
Right? And so they didn't know where they were going. Moses knew where they were at because he had education.
Yeah.
But they were not going. It almost looks like as they moved, they didn't know where they were going and they were a little bit confused.
Mm-hmm.
So the question is, why would God want the people that he led out of Egypt to look like they were confused and didn't know what they were doing or where they were going? Why would he want that to be what was seen by people that may be watching their movements?
Yeah.
Why would he do that? Well, verse 18, but God led the people around by the way of the wilderness toward the Red Sea. And the people of Israel went up out of the land of Egypt, equipped for battle. And that particular word, equipped for battle, you can take it that they had swords and they had shields and stuff like that. But another way to translate that is they moved in military formations. So it's not necessarily the swords and stuff that they had. They were just very orderly. Like this amount of people would stick together and then there would be another wave of people behind them.
Right.
So it's kind of an orderly way that you would move. An army was the best way to describe it. So if you could think in terms of an army marching, that's what the children of Israel looked like. So they looked very organized,
Yeah.
though it didn't look like they knew where they were going because they were here, there, and everywhere.
Yep.
Verse 19, Moses took the bones of Joseph with him, for Joseph made the sons of Israel solemnly swear, saying, God will surely visit you, and you shall carry up my bones with you from here. And he wanted to be buried with his father in the land of Canaan. So this is here because this is a fulfillment of a promise.
Yep.
Right? And it's not just a promise that Joseph made the Israelites keep or make them promise. It's not that. It is based on the promises of God that one day his people would go back to the land of Canaan and that would be their land, a land flowing with milk and honey.
Yep.
This is a fulfillment of a promise. Now, if you're an individual leaving Egypt,
Okay.
and you've got all your possessions and stuff like this, and you find out about this piece, what would that say to you?
If I find out about them taking Joseph's
Bones. Yeah. I'm not sure that everybody knew this at the time, but there would be people that would know that Moses did that. But if you learned that piece of information, what would that mean to you?
And we're setting the scene again. I'm taking all of my belongings.
Yeah, you have all your belongings. You're on this journey. It's a bunch of people all around you.
What would I think? And I think one of the thoughts in my head would be a little bit of respect factor
Okay.
for it. Just because, like, it shows that you take our people seriously.
Yeah.
You take them at their word. You take them for what they value. You respect. Even if you might not necessarily value it yourself, you respect the value that they have on it. And so you're like, I will fulfill that promise. I will do this.
Yeah.
For you.
So you're saying the wishes of the dead,
Yeah.
they respected the wishes of this fallen,
Yeah.
not fallen, but this dead leader.
Yeah,
This
like
one
this-
that passed away in the past.
Because, I mean, at this point, I don't know how many people know exactly what all Joseph did for them, but I think that there was still a respect factor for Joseph and being the leader, the guy that
Right.
paved the way.
So here's one thing that they did know. He was one of the tribal heads.
Yeah.
So his tribe is moving with all of this. I thought about this a little bit in a different way. I like the respect aspect that you just brought out. But this is a reminder to the people that 425 years ago, there was this guy named Joseph that believed in the promises of God so much that he had other people commit to take his bones back to the promised land when God would deliver them.
Yeah.
Like he saw into the future that God would move the people back there one day.
Yeah.
And so if you know this, you're thinking, okay, so a certain level of people would think, okay, this guy really believed in God, and now it's happening. The thing that he believed in is now happening, and it's very encouraging that he believed it. It's now happening, and we're a part of that promise that God made to Abraham.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not history in the making. It's a better future in the making.
Right.
Yeah. So very significant that that's in the middle here. Because other than that, it really doesn't fit
Right.
very well. Verse 20, and they moved on from Succoth, and that's where they baked their unleavened bread. That was their first stop. And encamped at Ethan on the edge of the wilderness. So that's the second place that they stopped to camp. And the Lord went before them by day in a pillar of cloud to lead them along the way, and by night in a pillar of fire to give them light, that they might travel by day and by night. The pillar of cloud by day and the pillar of fire by night did not depart before the people. A couple of things about this. First of all, it seems from this text that the cloud and the fire were all one thing.
Yeah.
A lot of times I think people get the concept that during the day, it was a cloud. Mm-hmm. And then at night it switched to fire. That's not what this is saying. In the midst of the cloud was a fire. Now, fire in Scripture represents the presence of God. And what we are going to find out in chapter 14 is that this is actually the angel of the Lord, which is a pre-incarnate appearance of Christ. So a pre-incarnate Christ is leading them out of the land of Egypt. The cloud is during the day because you can see it, but from the way that this reads, even when the cloud was there, you could still tell that there was fire inside.
Right.
At nighttime, you could just see the fire.
No.
Now, when is the last time that we saw fire? In Exodus.
Oh, in Exodus. Is it one of these that I wasn't here for?
No, you would know this story. It doesn't matter if you were here or
It
not.
doesn't matter if I was here or not.
And I can't remember if you were here.
The bush.
Yeah, the burning bush.
Yeah.
So this same fire is the same fire in the burning bush. It's the same angel of the Lord of the burning bush that's leading them out.
Yep.
So you kind of have bookends here to what's happening. He led Moses to Egypt to lead them out of Egypt.
Right.
Right. So very significant parallel there. So I think what we need to keep in mind is as we see this is a visible manifestation of God's presence. The fire is a key part of that. The pillar of cloud by day and the pillar of fire by night did not depart before the people. Now we know that they're not going the way that you would expect them to go, that they're going a different way.
Right.
And I think an application point here is that God does not always take his people by the route that they think they should go or the route that they expect.
Yeah.
Now, how many times in our life has God taken us down a different path that we did not expect?
Yeah.
Because we expected him to take us this direction and he didn't. But instead of, like, the destination has always been the same, but the route to get there is unexpected many times when it comes to God and him leading you.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. That there's, I think we get disappointed a lot of times when that happens. Like, we want to go a certain route, we want to go a certain way, and then we just get disappointed when that door kind of shuts on us and another one beside of it opens. And I think we can take that away from this one, that, like, you might not be prepared to go the route you wanted to go in.
Yeah.
You might want to turn back after going that route. So God is really preserving you and protecting you by saying, not that way, go this way.
Right. We have a tendency to make plans and stages in plans, at least I do. And we're going to do this, do this, do this, do this, do this, and we're going to arrive.
Yeah.
And we go toward those plans, and I think planning is awesome. I think God wants you to do that. But then you start following him, and he changes your plans.
Right.
And he changes your direction. In fact, sometimes when he changes your direction, your plans have to be just wiped off the whiteboard. And you have to get a new set of plans so that you can keep up with where he's going.
Right.
Yeah. And he always has a reason. It doesn't look like that they know what they're doing, but what we know from this passage is God knows what he's doing.
God knows. Yeah.
And there's a purpose behind the seeming confusion of their movements. Okay. That brings us to chapter 14, verse 1.
Verse 1.
And it says, "Then the Lord said to Moses," and we're going to stop there a minute. This is the first time in several chapters that there's not a continuation of a conversation that Moses had with God at an earlier time. For instance, chapter 13, verse 43 says, "And the Lord said to Moses." That the grammar of that phrase is, and the Lord continued to say to Moses. In other words, he was continuing a conversation. So you're supposed to go back to whatever he said before in the text, and you can put all that together and see the full conversation that he had with Moses before these events took place. That's in between
Yeah.
the interruptions. Here, then, means after the pillar of fire was leading them out, at this moment, then the Lord said. So the conversation we've been following in chapter 12 and chapter 13, that is now over. Okay, because even 13:1 says, the Lord said to Moses. That's a continuation of that conversation.
Yeah.
Here is a brand new conversation that he's having with Moses.
Yeah.
Even though it might repeat some of the same themes. Okay, so then it says, tell the people of Israel to turn back and encamp in front of Pi Ha Aroth.
I think that's great. Great pronunciation.
I just feel like it is.
Yeah.
Pi,
Mm-hmm.
obviously.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a math equation.
Mm-hmm.
Ha,
Huh?
her,
Mm-hmm. No.
oth.
Yep.
Paharath.
Yep.
Yeah. It's the only way I know how to do it.
Perfect.
Between Migdol, see, that's a little easier.
Yeah.
Migdol
Yep.
and the sea. In front of Baal Zephon, you shall encamp facing it by the sea. For Pharaoh will say to the people of Israel, they are wandering in the land, the wilderness has shut them in. I want you to notice that. So Pharaoh has already had scouts out watching them. He has realized that they just seem like they're wandering aimlessly.
Yeah.
And God is doing that to bait Pharaoh. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I will harden Pharaoh's heart, and he will pursue them, and I will get glory over Pharaoh. By the way, that glory there is something outside of God. It is people glorifying God because of what he has done. See, God has an innate glory that is just with him.
Yeah.
Just with him. This is a glory that people are praising God for his power and for what he has done. Okay, so he's doing this to show his glory and his power to the Egyptians again.
Yeah.
And to the people of Israel. Yeah. So glory over Pharaoh and all his host, and the Egyptians shall know that I am the Lord, and they did so. So he tells the people this, and then the people did it. They did it. I think it's important for us to understand that God is sovereign, and he will help his people cope with the challenges that they have in front of them. But we also need to remember that God's purposes are not determined by their welfare. So God will help us cope with our circumstances.
Yeah.
He will help us in our little needs that we have, that we think are big, and are big to us, but little to him. He will help us cope with that. But we must not get to the place where we believe that his purposes are determined by our welfare. It's not.
Right.
What is his purposes determined by?
His glory.
Yeah, his glory, his power, his vision of the future for mankind.
Yeah.
That's what his purposes are for. He doesn't mind helping us with our little details, but we do not have a God that is just trying to get us to where we need to go.
Right.
Yeah. Or calm our fears when things are going wrong.
Yeah.
Okay. Verse 5, the king of Egypt was told that the people had fled, which I think is a funny phrase.
Yeah.
He told them to go.
Yeah.
Of course they fled.
Right.
But then when I thought about that, maybe Pharaoh thought that they were just going to be gone 3 days and they'd return. Because that's how this whole thing started.
Right.
And so this is beyond 3 days now, and they haven't returned.
Yep.
They're not even on their way back. The mind of Pharaoh and his servants was changed toward the people. So what was Pharaoh's mind and his servants' mind toward the people before they left Egypt?
Well, he didn't like them being there. Not during the plagues.
Well, he didn't like them being there while people were dying.
Yeah.
So they wanted them to go. That was their
Right.
mindset. And they were giving them everything that they had. Anything they asked for, they were given to them. Now it's changed toward the people. And they said, "What is this that we have done, that we have let Israel go from serving us?" What do you think has happened? What realization do you think is on their mind now that the children of Israel is gone, based on what has happened to their country? What realization have they come to?
Well, they've lost all their workers,
They've lost all their workers.
so they're gonna have to start working.
Yeah.
And then the plagues decimated everything they had. So they're like, God, what do we do now?
Who's going to rebuild this?
Yeah.
This is a group of people who had depended on slaves to do trade jobs. And now all the slaves are gone, and there's nobody that really knows how to build stuff.
Yep.
They might know the what is it called? The theory behind what you do, or the process, but they really don't know functionally in the real world how to do it. And so they're like, we're in trouble here because we don't know how to rebuild our country. And there's a lot of things to rebuild. And we let all these slaves go that could help us do this.
Right.
Right? So their mind changed out of basically desperation. Yeah. I guess some of them woke up and they had to wash their own clothes. And they were like, I don't know. And some of them woke up and there wasn't dinner being made for them. And some of them woke up and said, oh my goodness, we have to get the straw and make the bricks.
You said they woke up and dinner wasn't being made for them.
Yeah. Isn't that great? Yeah, I was hoping I could just continue to
Just keep going.
Breakfast wouldn't be.
Yeah.
Woke up meaning in a symbolic way.
Listen, if you
their minds woke up, not that they woke up from sleep.
No. You could be right. If you had slaves to do all your work for you, they could have just been napping all day. And so you wake up and you're used to dinner being on the table at that point.
Yeah, they could have come home from a quote-unquote hard day at work, a mental hard day at work, sat on whatever couch they had, started a siesta.
Yeah, okay.
Didn't wake up because they didn't smell the food. A servant didn't come out and say, hey, food's ready.
Yeah.
Right? And they woke up to like, hey, I don't have any food. We're going to have to start cooking.
Yeah.
And then there were some guys that were like, my wife can't cook. We got to get these slaves back.
Yeah, I'm sure that exact scenario happened.
I'm sure because, that's the way that would roll, especially if the guy couldn't cook.
Yeah.
He's like, my wife can't cook either. We need, where is Miriam? She used to cook really well for us. Where did she go? Yeah. So there it is. That was really a lot of fun. So this shows that not only did Pharaoh change his mind, but his servants changed their mind as well.
Yeah.
So verse 6, so he made ready his chariot and took his army with him. And he took 600 chosen chariots and all the other chariots of Egypt. So there's 600 chariots, and then there's all the other chariots. Mm-hmm. So this means that there's two waves of this army. There's a first wave of 600 chariots, and then there's a second wave of all the other chariots. Mm. And I don't know how many other chariots there are.
Yeah.
But here's what I know. There's 600 of these. There are two people in a chariot, according to that time period. That's 1,200 people in a chariot. There's also 1,200 horses. I don't know where they got the horses from.
Who knows?
Were horses exempt from the cattle plague?
Egyptian stallions.
I don't know. But then you have all these other chariots coming too, and so there's a lot of horses coming.
No.
This implies that not only was there chariots in two groups, there was probably even a foot army as well. So he's sending a large army after the children of Israel, these people that are wandering around. Why do you think he sent such a large force? Because he's not going to kill them.
Yeah, so there was no chance of escaping.
Yeah, so there's enough people to organize those people to get back to Egypt.
Yeah.
There's over 1 million people. walking around. You're going to have some sort of force, large force, to bring these people back.
Yeah.
So it's all of them. All of them. Verse 8, and the Lord hardened the heart of Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and he pursued the people of Israel while the people of Israel were going out defiantly. In his mind, they were going out defiantly. A couple of things about that. I want you to notice that the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart after he had chosen to pursue the children of Israel.
Yeah.
And so, he's actually going to harden his servants' hearts as well. And so I think it's important to note that if we decide to go against God, that is our decision. But at some point, God could harden our hearts to where we continue down that path of destruction. Now, what this means is that Pharaoh went full force into this. And when God hardens someone's heart, they can't see what's happening. They can't see danger because they're singly focused in their revenge and what they want to do to these people. So they're not going to see the danger signs as they go into this battle.
Right.
I think that we need to be careful disobeying God, because when God hardens our hearts, we do stupid things. And Pharaoh, and we're going to talk about this next week, is going to do something very stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, his decision making is not wise anymore because of the hardening of his heart by God based on his decision.
Yeah.
Yeah. Verse 9 says, the Egyptians pursued them, all Pharaoh's horses, all of them, and chariots, and his horsemen. So there's people and horses, and his army, which means there's foot soldiers behind it. It's everybody. And they overtook them and encamped by the sea at Pi-ha-hi-roth.
Yep. Second time. Still is good.
Just breaking it down, man.
Still is good.
Of Baal-zephon. Do you know, I can say that word because we have some Zephons in the church.
Close.
You know what I'm saying? We have some Zephons.
Very close.
It's very close. Yeah. Yeah. The takeaway from this point is when God hardens people's hearts, they do stupid things.
Yeah.
Do stupid things. By the way, 14 times in chapter 14 and 15, chariots are mentioned. 14 times. So the overtake in verse 9, pursued them, all of Pharaoh's horses, chariots, and his horsemen, and his army, and overtook is a hunting term. Like you would hunt for something and overtake it to capture it, to bring it back.
Right.
Yeah. So what's your thoughts on all that?
I had a thought a little bit earlier.
What was that?
In verse 2, whenever they're talking about where they're going to encamp at, God is so in control and so willing to prepare his people for what is to come. He tells them which direction they are to encamp facing towards.
Right. So which way did they face towards?
Well, I don't know. It just says facing it, so I don't know if that's referring to the sea or Baal-zephon.
It is facing the sea.
Which is crazy because they don't know why they're facing the sea. But God knows why they're facing
So
the sea.
basically their tent doors were supposed to come out and they see the sea.
Yeah.
What was God trying to get them not to look at?
Egypt behind them, I guess.
Egypt behind them.
Yeah.
The message here and the detail of God's sovereignty and his plan was look forward, not backward.
Yeah.
Look at the future ahead, not the danger behind you.
Right.
Yeah.
So that to me just stuck out as a different level of preparation and care for his people. So that's all.
If we would just follow God and stay in the direction he's placed us in, we'd be a lot better off.
We'd probably be really, really well
Yeah.
taken care of.
But they didn't just look at the sea
Right.
as an opportunity.
Yeah.
They couldn't really see the opportunity of the sea. So I'll give them that. Like they had no clue that it was going to part. There you go, spoiler alert.
No,
It's going to, they had no clue.
Same time.
But I think we have to keep that in mind because we've read this story so many times that we know, oh, the sea's going to part and they're going to be just fine. These are real people that are like, we don't know how to get out of here. And there's a sea in front of us.
Yeah.
So they see the big obstacle in front. And they decide to turn around because they obviously hear Pharaoh's army coming.
Right.
So in verse 10 it says, when Pharaoh drew near, the people of Israel lifted up their eyes, and behold, the Egyptians were marching after them. And they, what?
They
Feared greatly. And the people of Israel cried out to the Lord. At least they started praying to God.
Yeah. They knew where to turn.
They turned there. So that's a good thing. The fear, though, is the problem. The prayer was good. They had that step. But when we pray, we need to pray without fear. We need to pray with faith. So instead of praying for God to deliver them, they're praying to God because they're about to be overtaken and captured. And it was all about the negative.
No.
Verse 11 says, they said to Moses, is it because there are no graves in Egypt that you have taken us away to die in the wilderness? So when they're praying to God, they're like, we're going to die in the wilderness. You're going to take us back. Why did you do this? That's their prayer. Okay, so it's a prayer of fear, not a prayer of faith. What have you done to us in bringing us out of Egypt? Is this not what we said to you in Egypt? Leave us alone that we may serve the Egyptians. For it would have been better for us to serve the Egyptians than to die in the wilderness. So whereas they did the right thing by turning to God and crying out to him, they're really turning to God to complain to him and then to his servant. And it's all based on fear. And Moses said to the people, what?
Fear not.
Fear not, stand firm, and see the salvation of the Lord, which he will work for you today. I think anytime we're fearful and we want to retreat and we want to clam up is the moment that we need to remember the promises of God. We need to stand firm and we need to look for God to deliver us in that moment. Not for us to, lose, but for some sort of deliverance in that moment. And he says for you today, for the Egyptians whom you see today, you shall never see again. This is the end of it.
Yep.
And the Lord will fight for you, and you have only to be silent. Only to be silent. So a couple of things about this. First, they were more aware of what Pharaoh is liable to do to them. They were more aware of their dire circumstance than they were of the promises that God had given to them.
Yeah.
Now, we pointed out one way that they would have known that God was going to fulfill the promises to them. What was that one way?
Joseph's bones.
Joseph's bones. So there's a group of them that knew about Joseph's bones, and they were probably leaders.
Yeah.
But here now, Joseph's bones doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
Because his bones is going to be taken back to Egypt, and this big army is going to overtake us. There's no way that we can fight them. And we get in, that's what fear does, though. Fear makes you focus on your circumstances rather than God's promises.
Yeah.
Faith makes you focus on God's promises, focus on God's power, focus on God's direction, focus to get God's strength to get through what you're about to go through. Fear makes you retreat and submit to what's happening to you.
Yeah.
Okay. I wrote down, fear makes you more aware of temporal issues and blinds you to the purposes and promises of God. Okay. Next, they say a couple of things here. They said to Moses, is it because there are no graves in Egypt that you have taken us away to die in the wilderness? What have you done to us in bringing us out of Egypt? Is this not what we said to you in Egypt? Leave us alone that we may serve the Egyptians, for it would have been better for us to serve the Egyptians than to die in the wilderness. All of that is negative.
Yeah.
Now, there is a power in words. Words often give you direction for life. In fact, every word that you say gives you direction for life.
Yep.
What they just said here was a belief that they had inside of them. A belief that they had said earlier in this story when things got harder when Moses first showed up.
Right.
Now they're repeating it again because in their heart, they don't fully believe that God is going to deliver them. They're easy to let go of that faith and hold on to fear. This is a theme throughout the rest of the wilderness wanderings.
Yeah.
In fact, in chapter 5, verse 21, 15, verse 24, 16, verse 3, 17, verse 2, 32, verse 1, we see the same theme over and over again. Because if you say something, it is because you believe it.
Mm-hmm.
And when you believe it, you are going to say it again. And you're going to say it again, even though God delivers you from whatever you're complaining about.
Mm-hmm.
If you do not wash away complaint from your life, if you do not wash away your previous life from your life, if you are someone that always sees what's wrong in every situation, chances are you're going to continue to see what's wrong in every situation in the future unless you just make a concerted effort not to do that anymore.
Right.
You have to guard what you say. If they had come to the Lord and said, "We have faith in you. You have led us this far. We know that you have a solution. We're just waiting to see what it is." And they had said those words would have been repeated in the next difficult situation.
Right.
So how you respond in a difficult situation, you're really mapping it out for how you're going to respond to the next one.
Yeah.
And at some point, you have to stop being fearful and negative and complaining and woe is me and we're not going to get out of this type conversation. You have to put that behind you because we are victorious in Christ, and there's always some type of resurrection sort of thing that's going to happen in our future, and we just need to hold on to faith and not fear and doubt.
Yeah, that's good.
Do you have anything to add to that?
No, I think that's a good way to end it. Perfect way to end it, in my book.
Oh, the Bible study?
Yeah.
Oh, I have a couple more.
Well, then fine.
Is that okay?
No, that's...
Are you bored?
No,
I mean,
fine.
Are we too far
that's
in?
Fine. That's
Are
fine.
you
That's
like, man,
But-
this has got to stop?
But listen, when we get to our last point, I want you to let me know, because then I'm going to ask you to talk about fear again and how sometimes we need to stop, because that's the perfect way to end it.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't.
Okay. Well, who knows?
Okay, you'll be the judge.
I'll be the judge.
Yeah. So now that we have that settled, here is one way
Okay.
in the text that you can stop being negative every time something bad happens to you. Every time there's an army behind you. Every time something comes up and you complain and you give into fear. Here is one way that you can quit doing that.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I'm ready to stop being negative.
It is very profound.
Okay.
It's very profound. Yeah. It's very profound. I know you're sitting at the edge of your seat. Right?
I'm waiting.
Waiting for it. Yeah. Here it is. Verse 14. The Lord will fight for you, and you have only to be silent. In other words, shut up.
That's good.
If you are fearful and you're going to start just doing woe is me, negative, negative, negative out of your mouth, shut up. Be silent and trust in God. It is amazing that if you would just stop saying negative things, just stop it and be silent, how quickly your fear will turn to faith.
Yeah.
When you are silent, you are more apt to listen to God. You're more apt to connect with Him. And you're more apt to go in a more positive direction than you are if you immediately start talking. So when something negative happens, it's time to be silent.
Yeah.
And it's time to look toward the Lord's deliverance.
Yeah.
Maybe in your mind you think, I don't know why this is happening, but what is God going to do? And so you're silent. I don't know why this is happening, but what is God going to do? That's enough to keep you silent.
Yeah.
What is He going to do? Because I can't do anything. There's a daggum sea in front of me. There's a army behind me. This is a no-win situation. How in the world are we going to get through this?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to be silent in this moment because God's going to make a way. In fact, He's going to make a way where there seems to be no way. Thank you, whoever wrote that song.
The book of Jonah would have been a lot more positive if he would have just been stop. If he just would have shut up and stopped being so
If
negative.
he would have just shut up just being quiet.
But Jonah would have been a lot more positive.
He would have. Yeah. So at some point in our Christian walk, we need to realize that God's deliverance is in God and God alone. Our deliverance is in God and God alone. Recently, and I'm not making fun of this kid at all, but Noah Zebron, he came and he rode my one wheel.
Yeah.
And he was very excited about it. I held his hands the whole time because it's a different type of vehicle. It's just different. So he wanted to ride around the church. So I held his hands, and I actually had to run because the thing goes 16 miles per hour. So I'm running.
You ran 16 miles an hour.
I ran as fast as that kid was going and went all the way around the church. So I'm holding his hands like this all the way around the church to get back. He jumps off that one wheel and looks at his dad and said, I rode all around the church, all the way around the church.
Yeah.
And I thought, no, you didn't. I was holding your hands the entire time.
Yeah.
I got you all the way around the church because he wouldn't have made it.
Right.
He wasn't ready. Great kid. I'm not saying anything about the kid, and I think it was cute, but he wasn't ready. I think we treat God like that. I made it all the way. No, you didn't. God delivered you. He held your hands the entire way. In fact, God was doing it, and you were just getting the participation trophy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which God's participation trophy are a little bit different than the ones we have here.
Probably a little bit better.
A little bit better. So always trust in God. Shut up. Shut up. And be still and know that He is God.
Yeah. It's good.
So what's your comments?
I don't have any comments again.
Do we need to go back to the other? Because that was a great way to end it.
Are you saying that one's the last one?
That's it. That's all I got.
Okay. I don't know. I'm a big proportionate, or big proponent. Sorry, I'm not big proportioned.
Not yet.
I'm a big proponent of people shutting up.
So there it is. So with that said, I think that's the greatest way to end this podcast
you're right,
today.
You're right.
We are just going to shut up.
That's good. I like that one better.
All right. Grace and peace until next week.
That you're in this place. Please let me stay and rest in your holiness. I'm finding myself at a loss for words. And the funny thing is, it's okay.